All right, everybody. Hope you're doing well. So, hey, we had a little bit of a hiccup, so I need a moment. The system wouldn't let me stream, so I have to let all the viewers know that we are actually over streaming live on YouTube. So, give me just a second to get started. Sorry about this, everybody. Let me comment down below. We are live on YouTube here. LinkedIn is having problems. All right. I got that. Let me do one more thing, and then we will get started. One moment. All right. Cool. We are ready to get started. Technical issues, right, is the name of the game today, but we made it through it. I'm excited. I just kicked it out, so I know some individuals will be joining us soon because I have some exciting topics for you. So let's go ahead and get started. Today's podcast, hey, it's welcome back to Success by Design. Hey, if you don't know me, my name is Tim Madden. And on this podcast, we talk about how to win in business and in life. And I'm going to be your host today. We're diving into a topic, honestly, I love so much because I love leadership. So I'm excited to talk about it with you today. So today's topic or episode is the inner game, right? Mastering your mindset before you lead others. Because here's the truth. If we can't get our own SHIT right, how can we possibly manage anybody else, right? Before we get into the topic today, I just got a couple updates for you. Number one, we had 13 offers come in the past 7 days here at Executive Career Upgrades for C-suite roles, VPs, SVPs, etc. So as always, if you're looking for a job you love and you need some additional help, do me a favor, do yourself a favor, go on over to execupgrades.com/podcast. Now, 2 more updates for you. If you don't know, even if you're not a current client of ECU, we have 2 programs that we do probably twice a year. One is a 6-month leadership and development program. We're talking about some of it today. And another is a published authors program for directors, VPs, and executives who know they have a story to tell. So if you'd like details on becoming a published author and getting your story out there or enhancing your leadership and development, do me a favor and go on over, send me an email at tim@execupgrades.com. I'm going to post it in the chat over on YouTube. And hello, Karuna. Hope you're doing well. If you want more information on those programs, yeah, send me an email. So, hey, let's get started. The inner game, mastering your mindset before you lead yourself. First thing I want to talk about, and I want to make sure you understand these, right, is the 3 traits of highly successful people because it goes into managing and leading ourselves. One of those traits is impulse control. Man. They analyzed just a ton of people that were very successful. And they said, what are the 3 things all of these individuals have in common? Number 1 was a superiority complex. They just think they deserved more out of life. Number 2, they suffered from massive insecurity and feeling like they're not enough. And number 3, the most interesting one, is they all had like very superior impulse control. Okay. So I just want to make sure the impulse control part is where a lot of leaders fail. Okay, so I want to make sure you take note of that because we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So look, I'm super critical about this specifically with everyone I work with. I'm going to tell you in a second, whether it's vendors, employees, partners, right? I'm tough about people. Man, if you do anything wrong, I'm probably going to be tough on you. If you're not showing up on time, if you're not in the right uniform or what you're supposed to be wearing, if you're not doing basic things like updating the CRM or making sure documents are filled out, I'm going to be tough on you. Because my mentor told me how you do one thing, okay, is how you do everything. So let that sink in for a second. If you as a leader can't handle the simple things, the basics, right? Like we have to show up on time. As the leader, we can't consistently be late. We have to be organized. We're managing lots of stuff. We have to keep promises to ourselves. So think about this. If we want to talk about being an effective leader, how can we ever multiply best practices into people if we ourselves don't display them? Leadership is about influence, but before you can influence others, you have to master yourself. Those toxic leaders out there, you know them, ladies and gentlemen. This is their main problem. Okay. Now, have you ever tried to lead a team while battling doubts in your own mind? I have. It's impossible. I'm not talking about imposter syndrome. That happens sometimes. I'm talking about your daily mindset and your daily confidence. As a leader, I don't care in what capacity, listen to me. You have to be confident in your ability. Let me repeat that. You have to be confident in your ability. If not, no one's going to follow you. If not, you can't develop other leaders. And how do you really build that confidence? We've said it on many of the ECU podcasts, right? But if you're new here, it's simple but not easy. It's keeping promises to yourself. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. When you say you're going to work out, when you say the project's going to be done, when you say that the deal's going to close, right? You do it. You wrap up your work every day. You don't push stuff off. You close loops, because the moment you start cutting corners, imagine this. If you're consistently cutting corners, right, with yourself, and you're eroding your own trust in yourself, how are other people going to take you seriously? How is other people going to treat you seriously? They're not. So let's talk about the inner game. Let's define it. When I talk about the inner game, I'm talking about how you are going to handle things like, are you ready? How do you handle stress? What happens when you're stressed out? How do you make decisions? How do you communicate when sometimes you're under pressure or a timeline? How do you influence and inspire people? What I really want to hit home here for you is, if you don't have core systems and routines in place for yourself, how the hell are you ever going to multiply that? So think about this. The problem is people get stressed and they don't know what to do. They're like, oh man, I'm just stressed out. Well, if you know you're stressed out and you have a system in place where you say, hey, you know what? Every time I'm stressed out, I don't know what it is. I'm going to turn off my phone and I'm going to go on a 30-minute walk and I'm going to clear my head. I don't know what it's going to be for you, but the problem is why so many freaking people struggle all the time. Okay. Why so many people struggle all the time is they don't have systems in place for how they make decisions, what to do when they're stressed, right? Food for thought. Here's some signs your inner game needs work as well. Here's some signs. If you're constantly self-doubting yourself, second-guessing yourself, avoiding tough conversations, you become defensive during feedback, or you keep overthinking, or you're feeling defeated after like one setback happens instead of immediately bouncing back, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, your inner game needs work. Now, the good news is this. If you're listening to this and thinking, man, that sounds like me, it's not a weakness. Are you ready? Here's the exciting part. This is an opportunity to level up. So here's the mindset shifts you're going to have to adopt if you want to get this inner game right, so you can eventually lead others effectively. And these are some powerful shifts. Okay. So instead of thinking, right, this is just how I am, think, hey, I'm either winning or I'm learning, right? Everything is a lesson, even the losses. And if you're going from scarcity to abundance, we could say things like, man, there's not enough there's not enough opportunities. Hey, maybe think there's enough opportunity and clients for everyone, because there is. Right? From control to trust. Instead of needing to micromanage everything, hey, I hire great people so I can empower them and not manage them. Now, with all things self-development, we need to get practical for a sec, because these are the exact things you need to do every single day so we can master our inner game. Remember, if you master your inner game, here's what happens. You will make more money. You'll be less stressed. You'll get more work done. Okay. And you'll be able to actually motivate and inspire others to be better. And they will eventually come on to be leaders as well. So these are some things I highly recommend, right? Practicing gratitude and journaling. Even 5 minutes helps in a journal. What happened today? What you thinking about? How you feeling? What are you grateful for? How can we have good daily mental routines of like clearing our head, reflecting, and being grateful for things? We also need to catch and reframe those negative thoughts quickly. Like when that voice pops up and says you're not good enough, catch it and replace it something like, man, I've overcome bigger challenges than this before. On a couple of these previous podcasts, we've done a lot of them now, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're at 190, but I've talked a lot about what I specifically do in my office, right? When I have these big challenges, I look around my office, right? And I see all of the freaking hard things I went through in my life, man. I'm in my home office right now, ladies and gentlemen, because we move into beautiful Tennessee, right? So everything's getting packed up. But in my office, man, I got my degrees, my military awards, my coins, all these things. So, because you don't think there's days, even though I try to seem like I'm full of confidence all the time, and I am most of the time because I have all of these habits and systems in place. But you don't think Tim Madden or Christina Madden some days are like, man, this is a big challenge. Immediately what I start doing is I was like, man, I've been deployed to Iraq, the Middle East. I've done this and this. I passed and completed some of the hardest schools literally in the world, right? This is going to be a piece of cake. That's just one thing I do. I surround myself, right? I visualize and picture, and I put all that up in my office. It does help. So, picture yourself in tough conversations, staying calm and confident, visualize, surround yourself with growth-minded people. The problem is people don't write down goals. They don't self-reflect. They don't do these daily habits, and then they wonder why their life is in turmoil. Don't make this a lot harder than it needs to be, because your beliefs, period, end of story, are going to influence how you see other people's potential. And if you're a regulated, calm leader, what do you think that's going to do? It's going to calm the team. But if you're running around like your head's on fire every single day, what do you think the team's going to do? And your mindset, is going to impact how you coach and develop these people, whether you retain top talent and whether you can set a high performing culture. I'll tell you one thing: if you're not organized, you're showing up late, you're not hitting numbers, you're not being a role model for other people, you think you're really going to build a high performance culture? Probably not. Look, before I invested time, money, and resources into personal development and actually got my SHIT together, I had so many negative habits. I guarantee you, if you're watching this, I had more than you have right now. Guaranteed. A lot more. I'd push stuff off. I'd avoid uncomfortable conversations. I'd kick the can down the road. I'd let stress eat me alive. Man, stress. Let me know in the comments. Ladies and gentlemen, I've had, stress so bad it feels like my chest is going to pop because it's been so tight before, due to many reasons. I wasn't reflecting. I wasn't investing in myself. I didn't keep promises to myself, and I wasn't taking care of myself. What do you think is likely going to happen if you continue to do that? That's why I dealt with could be a whole nother podcast episode. That's why I dealt with stress and anxiety for nearly a decade. And guess what? Impossible to be an effective leader for my team while I'm dealing with all that. So I'm just telling you from my experience, if you don't get yourself right, you'll always struggle in life. And then you'll definitely struggle to lead others. So here's my challenge for you today. What's one area of your inner game that needs work? Is it handling stress? Is it increasing your confidence? Is it organization? What small step can you take this week to improve it? Now, again, if you're serious about mastering your inner game, this is a huge component, right? About being the leader you're meant to be. You need systems, accountability, and community. That's, of course, why I'm inviting you to check out our leadership and development program. It kicks off on July 18th. It's a 6-month program going over the me, we, us leadership framework that I learned from my mentor, but specifically a big portion of that is that me leadership. It's your inner game. It's how to get yourself right. So we're going to dive deep into this stuff, give you access to systems, and I'll work with you every single week to help you build the mindset and systems you need to lead at that higher level. So, hey, if you want information on the leadership and development program so we can get ourselves right, so we can multiply it into our team, so that we can build these high-performing cultures, or if you've ever thought about being a published author, do me a favor, email me at tim@execupgrades.com. I'm going to post it over in the chat for a second if you have any questions. And then if you have any questions about those, I'll be happy to answer them. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me today, despite the technical errors. I'm blaming LinkedIn at this time. But remember, before you truly lead others, you have to first lead yourself. So I'll see you next week. But until then, do me a favor. If you have not left me a review over on Spotify or Apple, leave me a 5-star review. I'd really appreciate it. It helps to attract more people to the podcast so that they can hit their personal, professional, and financial goals that they're searching for. Until next week, I'll see you later. Have a great day, everyone. And remember, we owe it to ourselves, right? Our family and our future employees to get ourselves right. So if you know you can do better, hey, hit me up. I look forward to chatting with you.